find that interesting too, that he brings Kronos into the deal. Phoenician is big on Kronos, and that eventually caught on with the Greeks too. So we discussed that in a few episodes back, so I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm just going to keep on going. But if you guys want to hear about that, I think it was about 3 or 4 episodes back that we were talking about it. So, okay. And not long after, another of his sons by Rhea, and Rhea, or Rhea, is the mother goddess of ancient Greek religion and Greek mythology, the Titaness daughter of the earth goddess Gaia, and the sky god Uranus, himself a son of Gaia. She is the older sister of Kronos, who was also his consort and the mother of the 5 eldest. So there was a lot of incest going on within these pantheons, and that's something else I want to mention too. Like, you'll see a lot of intermingling when it comes to these deities. That's all the way from the Sumerians up to the Phoenicians, into the Assyrians. They all had it in their writings. There's a lot of things that's going on in these writings that I'd like to get further into. So I did want to mention that, and you'll notice it if you start getting into reading all this stuff. So, and not long after, another of his sons by Rhea named Muth, having died, he deifies him, and the Phoenicians call him Thanatos, death, and Pluto. So you have Thanatos, which is later called Pluto. In Greek mythology, Thanatos was the personification of death. He was a minor figure in Greek mythology, often referred to but rarely appearing in person. Alright. But in an earlier philosophical creation myth, Senechuniathon refers to a great wind which merged with its parents, and that connection was called desire. Alright, and in ancient Greek religion and mythology, the Erotes are a collective of winged gods associated with love and sexual intercourse. They are part of Aphrodite's retinue. Erotus is the plural for Eros, who as a singular deity has more complex mythology. And Aphrodite is another story that's very interesting when it comes to Kronos and Aphrodite, and I believe Uranus was Kronos' father, and how Aphrodite was born is also one of those things that I do want to cover, because this is something you're not going to read in the filtered history lessons of school. So I want to get into that. It's pretty good stuff, to be honest with you. But okay, so from its connection, Mont was produced, which some say is mud, and others a pultrescence of watery compound. And out of this came every germ of creation and the generation of the universe. So there were certain animals which had no sensation, and out of them grew intelligent animals, and were called Zophazmin. This is observers of heaven, and they were formed like the shape of an egg. So might burst forth into light and sun and moon and stars in the great constellation. The form Mod here is not the same as Muth, which appears later. And in Hebrew scriptures, death, Maweth or Mavet with an H, is sometimes linguistically personified as Habakkuk, is personified as in Habakkuk 2:5 and Job 18:13. So those are some pretty good reads. I believe that we do need to discuss Dagon next time, and Hadad, we pretty much went over him pretty good. Shepesh is the female deity of Shamash, I believe. Shapshu or Shapsh, and also Shamshu was a Canaanite sun goddess. She also served as the royal messenger of the high god El, her probable father. Her most common epithets in the Ugaritic corpus are NRT, ILM, SPS, RBT, SPS, and SPS LM. In the Pantheon list, KTU 1.118 and 1.148. So yeah. Now, Shamash is Enlil's son, I believe, too. So, En is Lord. Lil is Lord of the Sky, or Sky is Lil. So, you have El, right? And she was, yeah, he is the son of Shamash was the Canaanite sun goddess. She has also served as the royal messenger of the high god El. El is God, but All is Lord. So it's interesting. We can get into all that too. Shapash, that goes into Shamash, which is oh man, I'm having a brain fart now. But he is the twin brother of Anu, or Anana, and Ishtar. So that's Shapash's another name for it. It's a sun deity. Shapash and Shamash. Shamash is the male version, Shapash is the female version. At first, I wasn't going to go down into a lot of the religious stuff because I didn't, the way I saw it at the time is I didn't want to get involved with too much religion when it comes to history because that's really controversial. But then I thought about it, I was like, you know what, I need to do that, you know what I mean? I need to just do the religious part. So even, and just the hell with the consequences, basically. So
I mean, go ahead and throw this disclaimer out that the views and opinions expressed on this stream are not necessarily reflective of any of the sponsors or the listeners, and it's just for informative purposes only. There you go.
Okay. So, before we get into ball, I want to go through and discuss L. L's shorter, actually, so the best thing to do is start with what the wiki has for L and then go from there. So I'm gonna put the link up in the chat, and I'll put it in the Jitsi too, so that everybody can have a copy of it if they want to check it out. And I'll also do a screen share as well, since it's up there. We can get everything set up. Alright. I'm gonna take the chat off to the side so that it's easier to read too. So with that, I will do the reading for L. And now L, also ill, I guess, Agaritic, Phoenician, Hebrew, Syriac, Arabic, cognate to Akkadian, Romanized, Ilu. It's a Northwest Semitic word meaning God or deity, or referring as a proper name to any one of a multiple major ancient Near East deities, to any of multiple major ancient Near Eastern deities. A rare form of Elo represents the predicate from an old Akkadian and from predicate form in Old Akkadian and in Amorite. The word is derived from the Proto-Semitic Il, meaning God, and I know that like right there derives from the Proto-Semitic Il, meaning God. Doesn't match up with the Sumerians though, because God is On, or Ana, Anu, like that. So
Okay, so I have a question. Or
go ahead.
Okay, so then Allah, the name for God, is indigenous to what area?
That's strange, to be honest with you, because like Allah, they're from down south. That's more of the Arabs.
Hello?
Oh, sorry. Am I muted? Can you hear me?
I don't know what happened. I can hear you now, but it was like, that's strange because they're from and then it just completely blanked out.
Okay. Here, I'll hold this little thing in my hands again. That's probably what's doing it. But the Arabs are farther south from that region, you know what I mean? Like, they are in the Levant, but like,
yeah,
but like right where the Sumerians and the Assyrians and all of them are located in Lebanon. They weren't prevalent in that area until like after the Arab invasion, when they came up from the south to the north and ended up going straight into India. So that's something that I would like to check out too eventually, since we're on the subject.
Just because I see it says the Arabic and like Hebrew, and Phoenician, but I just knew too that Allah has been interchangeable within those cultures as well. That's why I asked the question, but I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
But Arabic, like, it's really it's a broad term for that time period, you know what I mean? Because you had the Semitics, you had the ones that weren't Semitics, which were Aryan, that was over towards Iran, back then it was Persia, and then you had the Medians, and then you had the Urartu. And
where's Medians at? Where are the Medians from?
The Medians would be where modern day Armenia is.
Okay.
Right up in that area, and well, Azerbaijan, right there in Georgia. All of that was Median territory. So
something just happened in Georgia over there. They're Georgia. Something. I just saw it on the news. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. Specific deities known as El-Al include the supreme god of the ancient Canaanite religion,